Our neighbor asked if her son could jump on our trampoline. We said sure. The next day, he fell and scraped his elbow. She showed up at 10 p.m. screaming, "You'll be hearing from my lawyer." I thought she was bluffing, until we got a lawsuit claiming emotional distress, unsafe conditions, and a deliberate act of neglect. But when we checked our backyard camera footage, we noticed something strange. He hadn't fallen. He jumped on purpose. And right before he did, she looked straight into the lens and smiled. We lived just outside Fort Collins, Colorado. Quiet neighborhood. Trees, nice lawns, people who wave when you drive by. My wife and I have been here a decade. Bought a house with a big yard for the kids. We've got 2 daughters, 9 and 12, and a big German shepherd named Patch who likes to bark at leaves. It's a good life. Or it was. I put a trampoline in our backyard 3 summers ago. One of the big ones with the safety net. The girls begged me for it, and saved up their allowance to help. I checked every part of it myself, anchored it down, padded the bars, installed the net. It wasn't cheap, but it made them happy. That's all I cared about. Then Monica Swan moved in next door. She showed up with her son Tyler in early June. She looked tired, like life had been chewing her up. Tyler was maybe 8. Didn't say much, just stared at people like he was trying to figure them out. My wife brought over banana bread the day after they moved in. Monica smiled, took it, said thanks. That was the first time she asked about the trampoline. Tyler saw it through the fence, she said. Would it be okay if he used it sometimes? We said sure. We're not monsters. Told her as long as we were home, he was welcome. For the first few weeks, it was fine. He jumped with the girls sometimes, mostly kept to himself. But slowly, little things started to bother us. Tyler didn't follow rules. We caught him climbing the net from the outside. He tried to boss the girls around. Once he told my younger daughter she wasn't allowed to jump when he was. We told him that's not how things work here. My wife sat down with him on the porch and explained the rules again. He nodded, barely looking at her. He said his mom told him not to listen to you. My older daughter whispered that night. I didn't think much of it. Thought maybe she misunderstood. Thought maybe Monica just had a different parenting style. Then came July 28th. It was a hot day. The kids were out back. I was inside, watching a Rockies game. I heard them playing. Heard Tyler yelling something. Then it got quiet. About 10 minutes later, the doorbell rang. It was Monica. She was standing there, in shorts and a tank top, sweating, breathing heavy, her eyes wide. She shoved her phone toward my face. There was a picture of Tyler's elbow, scraped and red. You're gonna hear from my lawyer, she snapped. I blinked. What? He fell. On your death trap of a trampoline. He could have broken something. My wife came over. Tried to calm her down. We didn't know he was hurt. Is he okay? He's not okay. He's traumatized. And this? This is neglect. You'll be hearing from my lawyer. She turned and stormed off before we could say anything else. We stood there stunned. I thought she was having a bad day. Maybe there was more going on. We figured she'd cool off. Nope. 6 days later, we got the letter. A lawsuit. Monica was suing us for emotional distress, unsafe conditions, medical costs. A pattern of deliberate neglect. I laughed when I first read it. Then I got angry. She was lying. Flat out lying. We hadn't neglected anything. The trampoline was in perfect condition. No holes, no loose springs, nothing. We called our homeowner's insurance. They got their legal team involved. We also hired our own lawyer, just in case. That night, I remembered the security cameras. I installed them 2 years ago after someone stole a bike from our porch. One pointed toward the patio, the other faced the backyard. I checked the footage from the day Tyler fell. What I saw stopped me cold. Tyler climbed onto the trampoline alone. He stood there, not jumping, just standing. Then he turned and looked directly at the house. After a few seconds, he dropped to his side hard. Like on purpose. Rolled over. Got up. Sat down again. 30 seconds later, Monica walked into view. Calm. Not running. Not panicking. She leaned against the trampoline net. Then she looked directly at the camera. Right into the lens. And she smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile. It was slow. Cold. Like she was satisfied. I showed the video to my wife. She grabbed my arm. She told him to do it, she said. She planned this. We sent the footage to our lawyer. He watched it twice. You've got her, he said. This isn't just a fake lawsuit. This is fraud. He filed a counterclaim. Insurance fraud. False claim. Malicious intent. We also started doing our own digging into Monica. Turns out she'd moved around a lot. 5 different towns in the past decade. And at least 3 of them, she had lawsuits involving her son. One was a church, he slipped on the steps. Another was a daycare. Same kind of story. Minor injury, big legal words, quiet settlements. We weren't the first. When she realized we weren't backing down, she changed tactics. Called us crying one night. Said she was sorry. That she was stressed. That she'd drop everything if we did too. We didn't. Then she got angry again. Started banging on our door at night. Screaming that we were ruining her life. One night she threw something at our front window and cracked it. Cops came. Gave her a warning. Then CPS showed up. Someone filed an anonymous report that our daughters were left alone for hours. That they were at risk. That we yelled at them all the time. The caseworker was polite. Came in, looked around. Talked to the girls. Talked to us. It was closed in 3 days. But it still messed us up. My wife cried that night. She didn't feel safe anymore. My daughters started asking if they could go outside. That yard, that trampoline, it wasn't fun anymore. We installed more cameras. 2 months later, the judge threw Monica's case out. Said the video was clear. Said it was an attempt to mislead the court. She was ordered to pay our legal fees and penalties. Her face when the ruling was read? I'll never forget it. Like a cornered animal. We filed fraud charges. She skipped town before the hearing. There's a warrant out now. She never paid a dime. We sold the house 3 months later. Moved to a town 40 minutes away. Found a smaller place, less yard, no trampoline. But safer. I don't think Monica will stop. She'll find someone else. Some other kid with a swing set. Some other neighbor who's too nice to say no. But I'll always have that video. That moment she looked into the lens and smiled. We moved into a small 1-story place in Loveland, Colorado. Half the size of our old house, but the street was calm and there were no shared fences. That mattered more than space. The girls didn't ask for a new trampoline. My wife said she never wanted one again. We unpacked slow, stayed quiet, and tried to start fresh. For a few months, we thought we were in the clear. Then I got a letter. No return address. Inside was a single photo. A printed still frame, blurry, but clearly from our security footage. The one where Monica looks into the camera and smiles. No note. No explanation. My stomach dropped. I checked the postmark. It came from Denver. I hadn't shared that frame publicly. Only our lawyer had a copy. And the court. Someone kept it. Someone sent it. I tried to shake it off. Told myself it could be from the court records. Maybe someone found it online. But deep down, I knew it was a message. That same week, my older daughter told me she saw a car parked across from our house during the school pickup hour. Not every day. Just sometimes. Same silver sedan. Tinted windows. Never got out. I told her not to worry, but I started writing down license plates. After 3 days I caught it. Colorado plates, but nothing stood out. Then one night, my wife went to take the trash out, and came back white as a ghost. "There's chalk on the sidewalk," she whispered. I walked outside and saw it. Right in front of our driveway. A smiley face. Not a kid's drawing. Not colorful or playful. Just white chalk. One single circle. 2 dots for eyes. A long, slow curve of a smile. That night I didn't sleep. I pulled up the outdoor camera feed, rewound everything. At 2:14 a.m., a figure appeared at the edge of the lawn. Hoodie, slim frame. They bent down, drew the smiley face, then walked away. Never looked at the house. Never looked up. But they knew exactly where the cameras were. They stayed just out of reach. I gave the footage to the police. Filed a report. They said it could be kids. That unless something else happened, there wasn't much they could do. So I took it into my own hands. I dug back into Monica's record. Tracked down people who dealt with her before. Found a man named Greg who ran the daycare she sued years ago. He moved out of state, but he called me the next day. "Monica doesn't stop," he said. "She doesn't go away. You think she's gone, then she pops up again. Always with a new trick." I asked if she had help. If she worked with anyone. There was a pause. "She had a sister," he said. "I never met her, but she mentioned her once. Said her sister used to clean up messes. Whatever that meant." That night, I searched her name with every combination I could think of. Monica Swan, Colorado. Monica Swan lawsuit. Monica Swan plus sister. And then I found it. An arrest record in Denver, 2017. Name, Cassandra Lynn Swan. Charged with tampering with evidence. Case dropped. No photo, no details, but same last name. Same area. And the same look on the face in my footage. It wasn't Monica who came to my house that night. It was someone else. Maybe her sister. Maybe someone worse. After I found that arrest record for Cassandra Swan, I showed it to my wife. She stared at the screen for a long time, then looked at me and said, "We're not safe, are we?" "No," I told her. "I don't think we ever were." The problem was, there wasn't much we could do legally. The police said the chalk face wasn't a direct threat. The strange car hadn't broken any laws. And Cassandra's arrest was years old, not connected to us. But that didn't mean she wasn't out there. One day, after dropping the girls off at school, I circled back around the block. Just once. A habit I'd picked up. That's when I saw the silver sedan again. Parked 2 blocks down. Driver's seat empty. I parked a few spots behind it and waited. 5 minutes. 10. Nothing. Then I saw her. A woman walking slowly along the sidewalk, hood up, sunglasses on. But the way she moved, it was deliberate. Like she wasn't looking at houses. She was checking windows. Watching people. She passed a house, turned down a driveway, then came right back out. Like she was testing reactions. When she got to the sedan, she got in and drove off. I followed her. Kept 2 cars back, didn't take risks. She drove through Loveland, then onto the highway, and headed toward Denver. I followed for nearly an hour before she exited into a rundown industrial area near Commerce City. She pulled into a lot behind an old warehouse. That's where I stopped. She got out, walked toward a side entrance, and then paused. Looked over her shoulder. Right at me. Even from that far away, I felt it. She knew I was there. She didn't wave. She didn't smile. She just watched. Then she disappeared inside. I waited another 20 minutes, then drove off. Didn't sleep that night. Neither did my wife. A week later, my daughter came home from school quiet. Too quiet. I asked her what was wrong. "Someone asked me questions at lunch," she said. "What kind of questions?" She looked at me with wide eyes. A lady sat at our table. She wasn't a teacher. She said she was new and asked if we still had a trampoline. She asked where we lived. I saw red. I drove to the school the next morning and demanded to see the security footage. The principal was helpful, pulled it up. Sure enough, there she was, dark hair, sunglasses, maybe early 30s, sitting at the end of the table near my daughter. Only for a few minutes, then gone. She'd gotten inside without a badge. No visitor check-in. No record. She was watching us again. Watching my kid. I called the police again. This time I didn't back off. I gave them the license plate number. The name. The school footage. I told them everything. That got their attention. Turns out the car had been reported in 2 other suspicious activity calls in other towns, both involving schools. One officer recognized Cassandra Swan's name from a sealed investigation. They wouldn't tell me what it was about. But they started taking me seriously after that. A detective from Larimer County showed up at my house 2 days later. He told me to keep the kids home for the week. They were opening a file on potential stalking behavior. He said, "You were right to follow her. But you need to stop. Let us handle this." I wanted to trust him. I really did. But that night, someone broke into our shed. Nothing was taken. But inside, they left something. A single photograph. Same frame again, Monica smiling into the camera. But this one had red ink across the bottom. "You'll pay." My wife broke down. The girls were too scared to sleep in their rooms. And for the first time since this started, I felt helpless. Who the hell were these women? What were they after? And how far would they go? After that photo was left in our shed, something in me snapped. I wasn't going to sit around anymore. The police said they'd look into it. But nothing was happening fast enough. And these people, Monica, her sister, whoever else was helping them, they weren't just trying to scare us. They were trying to break us. I sat in the garage that night, lights off, holding a baseball bat, waiting for something to move. My wife begged me to come inside. I didn't. Not until the sun came up. The next morning, I started calling lawyers. Private investigators. Anyone who could dig deeper than I could. One name kept coming up, an ex-police officer named Vince who now did PI work out of Boulder. I called him. He listened quietly while I explained everything. Then he said, "You're not the first person they've done this to." Turns out Vince had looked into Monica and Cassandra before. A few years back, they tried to pull something similar on a family in Colorado Springs. That time, it was a fake dog bite. Then a lawsuit. Then threats. Same pattern. The family dropped the countersuit when the mom started getting strange calls at work, calls that played recordings of her kids walking to school. It was always about fear. Control. They count on people backing down, Vince said. But if you push back hard enough, they slip up. I hired him on the spot. 3 days later, Vince had something. He'd traced the silver sedan to an old address in Denver. Monica wasn't listed on the lease, but Cassandra was. He also found something else. Monica had recently changed her name. She was now going by Michelle Carter. She'd applied for a rental in Loveland just 3 blocks from our new house, after we moved. She followed us. The whole move? She had planned for it. That night, I met Vince in a diner parking lot and handed him a flash drive. It had every video, every photo, every message we had received. I told him, "Let's end this." And we did. Vince got a meeting with the Larimer County detective working our case. He showed them everything. The fake name. The school visit. The shed photo. He also found that Monica, or Michelle, had recently filed a new claim, this time against her own landlord, saying the water heater burned her kid. The kid who hadn't even been living with her. That's what finally tipped the scale. The police got a warrant. They raided Monica's rental the next morning. Inside, they found dozens of photos of us. Our backyard. Our kids at the school drop-off line. Notes with our schedule, our routines. One of the notebooks had my daughter's name written over and over. And in a drawer they found wigs, sunglasses, and a box full of mail, most of it unopened, but one envelope was addressed to us. Inside it was a draft of a letter to Child Protective Services. A new one. With a new lie. That's when the detective called me and said, "It's over. Monica was arrested on charges of harassment, stalking, and mail fraud." Cassandra was picked up the next day outside of Denver, trying to board a Greyhound bus. She had fake IDs on her. We were asked to testify. We didn't hesitate. At the trial, the DA laid it all out. The lies. The setups. The lawsuits. The pattern. Even the footage of Monica smiling into the camera was shown to the jury. When I was on the stand, I looked straight at her. Her face didn't move. No shame. No fear. Just blank. But when they played the footage of her sister at the school, she flinched. Just once. That was enough for me. They were both sentenced, Monica to 4 years, Cassandra to 6. Turns out, this wasn't just stalking. They were running a long con. Lawsuits, fake claims, emotional trauma, all to get settlement money. They'd done it in 3 states. But this time, they went too far. They went after the wrong family. And I made mistakes too. I waited too long to act. I didn't take the signs seriously early enough. I tried to handle things on my own. I almost put my family in danger. But we got out. We moved again. Not far, just enough to feel new. The girls sleep through the night now. My wife smiles again. Patch still barks at leaves, but he also barks at the fence line, and that's fine by me. The trampoline is gone. But the cameras are still up. And I never stop watching. Because I've seen what can happen. And I've seen how far people will go, just for a little money and control. But I've also seen how to end it. You shine a light on them. You catch them in the act. And you never, ever, look away.